What's going on, guys? It is DigiWatch TCG coming to you with another MarketWatch. Now, before we get into it, please like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts below on what you'd like to see next. Now, over the last weekend, we had Carta Magica Ulti Cup happening, and Green Hybrid actually won first place, which you don't see so often. So I wanted to go over a lot of the techs of Green. Today we're going to be really focusing on Green and just seeing what the prices are for around the market and what you should be considering picking up if this deck ends up being something competitive. Now, from what I heard with the deck list, which you can see on Eggman's channel or Mario Gaming World, shout out to those channels. I think there's some other people who probably have some interviews, maybe not out yet, but the deck went undefeated pretty much the entire tournament, which is something that's really interesting. Normally you don't hear a Green Hybrid went undefeated in an entire 512 person tournament, especially an Ulti Cup like that, where people are playing the most competitive decks and trying to get high rarity cards. And so I also competed in that tournament, by the way, and I can tell you from my matchups there was a lot of Imperial Digimon. I'm sure there were some other decks. I know I faced like 5-6 matchups of Imperial Digimon. I myself was playing Imperial Digimon in that in the deck, so I feel a lot of people were thinking the same way. So you saw a lot of mirror matches, but maybe that was partially the reason, or I'd love to hear his matchups. So if you do, I think he does mention them in some of the deck profiles. But going into that, the cards, starting with the Rapidmon, he played 3 of these cards. We can see the price being here, 34, and we can see the trend going down over time. It was about the $42 mark, same as Magnamon, but Rapidmon actually has seen, as you can see here, a few buyouts since yesterday, kind of pushing the price to about the $33, $34 mark. But if you look at the prices here, including shipping, it does kind of have some increase in shipping. So if you're looking to trade up with locals or anything, the first price that actually includes shipping is the core TCG at $40. So I would consider picking these up if you're looking to alternate arts, and I would definitely consider picking those up. But if you're looking to save some money, there is the regular art Rapidmon for about $10. As we can see here, it is staying about the $10, $11 price. So keep that in mind. Galamond was another card out of Digital Hazard that was played, and it has a really great effect, and especially with Terrier Mod. If you don't know what Terrier Mod does, I will get into it because I have a few Terrier Mods out on my tabs. And basically, if you have a Terrier Mod, Renamon, Impmon, or Galamond in play, you reduce the cost of this card to play by 2, making it a 1 cost to play. It can attack, but it does have a really great effect, and especially in Green, this is very, very important. When one of your Digimon digivolves, you suspend this Digimon to gain 1 memory, draw 1, and have one of your Digimon get 3000 DP for the turn. So that is a very good effect because, number one, just Green itself just has so much memory reductions, or by its own like archetype, to be able to reduce cost to get up to a very high level. And when you're going to ancient Beatlemon or cards like very level level 6 and stuff, it definitely helps you get to those level 6s and stuff faster. So 3000 DP carries over to each level you go into, so you can go into a level 5 pretty much and not even have to worry about digivolving to a level 6 if you don't have one, and just be able to swing into your opponent's security or Digimon with something with 11,000 DP, which I think is something that the player actually said. And if you have more of these out, it really just gives you a lot of utility. So this is the alternate art, and I think the alternate art is worth picking up because you do have that amazing artwork of the Galamond Digivolution line in the background. And if you could look at the scales data here, it looks like about $17 is where it's sitting. I think it's not going to pass $20, $25 if you see more Green hybrids being played. Terriermon here, this was not included in the deck profile, but it is a foil version, a pre-release version. It is going for there is one listing of $45, and we see before what people were buying it for were about between $15 and $25. Again, not many people were picking it up, but I think it could be considered if some people listed it at a more reasonable price, maybe about $25. to search for your Rapamon Gargamon if you're playing more of a Rapamon Gargamon type of build. It does search still in the deck, but again, the player didn't play this card specifically. But I would still consider picking it up. Terrymon is a fan favorite Digimon. Going into more cards though, Gummymon was played at 4, and I think it is $15 a piece, and it's sticking to that, and it doesn't really change too much. There is a few listings closer to the $20 mark at the end here, but yeah, I think the alternate art is really nice, and it's a 4 of, and Digital Hazard has a lot of alternate art, so something I would consider doing is buy the singles if you're looking to just make the deck. But if you're looking just to pick up like artworks and stuff like that, Digital Hazard is a really great set to just pick up artworks, in my opinion. You get 3 per box, plus possibly a secret rare as well, so that's something to keep in mind. But this one absolutely earns its price. This is the Terrier Mod. This is the box topper first year anniversary special from the special release. So this was in BT6 box toppers, and it's going for there are only 3 copies here. We have someone who actually I think just listed this at $80. This is a 42. It's starting to get very hard to get because not a lot of people are picking up the BT6 boxes right now, unless you were trying to just build Beatlemon, I guess, or Galamond. I don't know why you would, or try to pull out the Alphamons possibly as well if you're looking to buy boxes. But to get you have a 1 in 8 chance of getting the Terrier Mod, so this is a very hard card to get, and I think it earns its price. I think it could go a little lower, maybe to $36 possibly, but I think that it should stay at its price around $35. I do wish it was cheaper myself, because I really love this artwork, and I was lucky to get enough to get 1 copy of it. But if you can't afford these copies, I did look it up already. You have the Terrier Mod that's an uncommon for $2.50 a piece. So for 4 copies, that's $10. This would be something I would consider picking up over the Terrier Mod box topper if you're just looking to make the deck. We have the other Terrier Mod. This one is played at another 4 of in the deck, and it is 4 copies of it. And I really do love these artworks with the Digimon and the Tamer in the artwork, and it has an effect of when you play a green Tamer, gain 1 memory, so all your Tamers kind of have a reduction cost in a sense. And then when your opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, which again green loves to do, this Digimon gets 2000 DP for the turn. So remember what I said about the Galamond? Combined with this here, it's gaining 5000 DP, which makes your level 5 makes your level 5 possibly a 13,000 swinger, which we'll get to in a second because we're going to go over the pre-release cards next. So we have the pre-release Rhino Cabo Terrymon, like I said, 8,000, so 8 plus 5 is 13. You can also swing into their security, and it gains the additional or Digimon, and it gains the additional ability to Digivolve on attack. Don't ignore this price over here because this is not the true price of it right now. We see that there are a few copies over here, but then it's about the $12 mark. So I think once these are bought out, then we're going to see it'd be about $12, $13. So I would pick these up now sooner than later. Going into, there are some more pre-release cards we're going to get into. I think I just mixed up the tabs over here, but Davis Ken box topper. I know a lot of people were after this one specifically, and at the beginning of pre-release, it was about the $25 mark. In the last month, it was about $10. It's been trending downward to $6. If you don't recall, we are getting our pre-release and our what's it called? Our BT9 X record coming out in about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. And so this card mainly used in Armor Rush and in Imperiumon. You will not see as much play, so I personally would wait a few more weeks, and I think it's going to probably drop maybe to the $4 mark. That's when I would make my buy of this card. I think that's absolutely a good pickup. Going into another card here, there's a few different YouTubers that have made some Lotmon deck profiles, and that might be the reason why this is getting bought out. It is relatively cheap, but as you can see here, it is going for $11, $12. Which is really interesting. I don't know really why. I do think it's interesting that you can trash the top card of your security stack to unsuspend the Digimon, this Digimon, and swing again. But for 7,000 DP, I'm not exactly sure if it is like worth it. Like you may just be able to do 2 checks. I don't know how the deck plays, so you could just see, though, it did go up a little bit. Going back to pre-releases real quick, we have the Beatlemon here. Ignore this price. This is the wrong price. It's actually one blister at $8. Let's actually see if this changed at all. So let's see, 1 month, and then yeah, so it's still $13, $14, $15 for a copy of Beatlemon pre-release, and so you can hollow out your deck and make this card. And this is definitely a big part of the strategy playing in the green deck. Going into our next card over here, we have Capo Terrymon. Now, I have a few different copies of it. This is the regular version you get from Giga Green, but Giga Green has been hard to get until more recently, so I'm going to just keep my eye on this. It may actually drop down a little bit, I think, because like another run of all the starter decks were announced. And some stores have already bought them. I know that in my store, we didn't have it for almost like a year of like red. I think it was like red, blue, yellow. We didn't have those 3. And green was very, very low supply. And so I just saw it was recently restocked. So they have a bunch here, and this is pretty easy to get. But if you are looking for a hollow rarity, there is the online participant version for about $8. I will say that if you look at the buyouts over here in the last couple of days, we see that today and yesterday a lot of copies were bought, and they're staying at 3, but this might actually jump up just because a lot of people are trying to maybe try out the deck. Going into some other text that he was using was the Samadhi Santi for $4. I think it's worth it. It's a pre-release card. It is going to probably be used in future formats for 1 cost, being able to suspend your opponent's Digimon, and they cannot suspend for any other unsuspend for any other reason. Meaning, if they have like a Davis Ken, and let's say you're playing Imperial Digimon, or they're playing Imperial Digimon, and you Digivolve into another dual color, they will not be able to unsuspend that Digimon because of Samadhi Santi's effect that says you can't unsuspend until the end of their next turn. So something to keep in mind. Looking a little bit forward into BT9, Grandis Kawagumon is one of the tier 1 decks. It's an OTK deck. They've seen a lot of play in it, and it is expected to be one of the top tier decks in BT9 moving forward. So it's going for about $11, $12 as you look down here. And what the play is with this card is that Grandis Kawagumon basically has an effect of when you Digivolve, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and if you do, you can, I think it's like you can unsuspend this Digimon or something like that, or and then it has an attacking effect of when you attack, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and unsuspend one of this Digimon. So I think it's like that kind of effect. I don't remember the exact wording, but and it also gets 4,000 on its turn, so it'll be 16,000. So basically, this is the play. So you Digiverse 2, it gains 1 security attack, and then that will carry over to whatever you Digivolve on top of it. So then you go to Grandis Kawagumon for a Digivolution cost of 1, and then you are able to swing at your opponent's Digimon. Usually you'll have Piercing underneath it with one of your other cards, and you do 2 security checks. You trigger the effect of the end of attacking one of your opponent's Digimon and be able to unsuspend and attack again, either into their security or into another one of their Digimon, and do multiple checks. So you're doing 4 checks in basically 1 turn with Grandis Kawagumon. So it's very, very powerful, very fast. I've seen games played within 5 minutes of this deck being played. One thing I wanted to mention was Rika, and actually the other Tamers protagonists from the show. Really great artwork on this. I think I commend Bandai for making these arts as good as they are, but having the mega level Digimon in the back, as well as kind of like that shine. When you see the card, you actually see a really nice shine. I find it funny that it's a bit of an X over here, because that is the next set we're getting is X Record, but maybe there's a little hint toward us like about that. But you can see that it's been going up $27, $28. BT9 and BT10, it gets support, so it's something to consider picking up. I think personally of all 3 versions of Henry, Takato, and Rika, at least 1 copy, or if you're playing Sakuyamon, you want to play 4 copies or 3 copies of Rika. when I was talking about the cards over here, regards to closed product or sealed product, I would pick 2 copies of this up. It is stocked on shelves. You can see this person over here has it almost unopened, but you can get 2 copies here. You can get 2 copies here. So I would pick this up if you're looking to pick up all the pieces that you need for green. Another thing I wanted to mention was New Awakening booster box over here. For $57, I think it's actually ridiculous. I might actually pick up 1 or 2 boxes just for that price. But for 24 packs and getting 2, possibly alt arts, I'm really a fan of this set. But the reason I think it's so down is that nothing in here is very, very much like supported in the next set. Like you have Alphamon, Metal Garurumon, or X. You have Dexmon, you have some other stuff. So unless you're looking to get specific cards or alternate arts, probably singles are better. But for $60, that's a really good price. And being able to get possibly 2 alternate arts that are good listings, if you get a Magnamon, that almost pays for the box itself. Plus you get like all the other super rares and stuff from it. Lastly, I always like to give a little bit of a memory boost to my my audience. And I just want to mention a few things about a couple of different cards here. Prime Memory Boost being about $17. I always kind of I played this when it first came out. I think it's a really good card. You look at the top 3 cards, and then you can play a card right from your deck. Basically, that has a 4 cost or less to play cost or less, and then it has the memory delay underneath it. And in the next, I think in BT10 you get the I don't know if it's BT9 or BT10, but you get the Skull Knightmon support. And Skull Knightmon, practically all their cards are 4 costs or less, so this is a very good card to play in that deck. And then you trash the rest, which is kind of what the deck also wants you to do. So I could see this definitely going up a little bit when we get a little bit closer. Howling Memory Boost, I think that a lot of people have these copies, and I think it's going to just stay up at the $13, $14 mark, maybe even go down to 10, because a lot of blue hybrid players are still playing it at max rarity. Red Memory Boost, I think this is going to possibly go up because you do play Red Memory Boost in a lot of different decks. Galamond, War Greymon, Black War Greymon. So it might be something to consider picking up now before it goes up higher. And then my secret pick personally is the Blue Memory Boost, because Metal Garurumon does play a lot of memory boosters, and I think that $8 is worth the price for a box topper that if you're just looking for the box topper, you don't need to pick up the other ones. But keep in mind, there are the other copies over here going for 3 to 4 copies. When you get 2 of the All Force, I think it's the All Force deck box and the Galamond deck box. You can get these for $2. But with that said, please like, subscribe, leave your thoughts below on what you'd like to see next. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and stay happy.